Okay.
There you go.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you guys?
Yeah. You want me to say it?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
You start it off.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Sunday Bites and Tidbits with myself, Chef Babette.
And Terrah Bennett Smith. And we're so happy to have you here today.
Yes,
Thank you
we
so much
are.
for joining us. And why don't you introduce our first guest today?
I'm so excited about our first guest today. I met this baby when she was just a baby. And now she's like all grown up and stuff and doing all kind of stuff. We're going to introduce you to she's like my niece. I make her call me auntie. Anyway, Miss Genesis Butler. Come on in, baby.
Genesis. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So I'm going to let Babette start off since she's kind of, made the introduction. I met you before, but I'm going to let Babette start off by, asking you a few questions and whatnot.
Well, basically what we want to do, I know the whole world knows about you right now, but we're going to, for the few people that don't, I'd like for you to, now we've got you on the show because you are like one of our youngest vegans and you started so early. So I just think your story is so interesting because it was you that led the family when you were quite small. So why don't you just give us a little preview of how it all got started?
Okay, she went away. Hold on, Genesis.
Basically,
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
there.
Go ahead. You're ready.
So the way that I got started was when I was younger. I was 3 at the time. I asked my mom about where we got our meat from, and then she didn't want to tell me because she thought, oh, well, she's too young. I don't want her to know. So she told me, oh, we just get it from the grocery store. But I knew in my heart that it was just a bad feeling. So we had to have got it from somewhere else. So I asked her again. And then she told me how we had to kill animals for it. And I was devastated and I wanted no part of that. So then after that, me and my mom were vegetarian. And then a year later, my mom was nursing my little sister. And I was wondering about where we got the milk from. But at the time, my mom didn't want to tell me where we got the milk from because that was first when I told her about where we got our meat from. And she was like, not this again. So then I asked her, and she told me that we got it from mama cows because she didn't want to sugarcoat it anymore. She thought, okay, let me just tell her straight up. So then I said, oh, well, that's like someone taking your milk to give it to humans instead of my little sister. And she told me that was exactly how it was. So I told her that I wanted no part in that, and I would like for the milk to be given to the babies instead of to us. So then my whole family went vegan after that.
Love it.
Wow.
Love it.
Now, was it a hard transition for you, especially being a kid going, like when you go to birthday parties and things like that at school, not being a part of the good, hot dogs and burgers and all the stuff. Now, because a lot of times people, they'll say, okay, I won't eat meat, but I'll have some of the birthday cake, and the birthday cake would have milk in it.
Right.
How did you manage that?
So that was actually something that my mom told me that I wouldn't be able to have. So, when I first told her that I wanted to go vegan, she was kind of hesitant about it because she would always like eat meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and dairy. So she was kind of like, what am I going to eat? But then I told her, oh, well, you don't know what we can eat. So let's go to the grocery store and see. And we found how there were so many vegan alternatives. So that was actually something that she told me was that, oh, you can't have cake at birthday parties. You can't have ice cream. So then I said, well, as long as mama cows are okay with their babies, then I don't want it. So then we still went vegan. And then we figured out that we could just eat before the parties, or we could take alternatives to the party. We can take ice cream. We can take cake. And most of the time, if it's like a pizza party, we'll ask before, and then we'll take our own pizza. And then all the kids will look and be like, how come I didn't get that? So they feel like, oh, well. So, I mean, most of the time, yeah, I just take my own stuff.
And was there ever a time when you felt like, oh God, I'm missing out. Oh, I missed that.
Well, I just would always take either alternatives or I'd eat before or after the party. But every time that I would take my food, all the kids just look at me like, dang, hers is all gourmet. How come I didn't get that? So they feel like cheated. So I was kind of just happy. I was just like, oh, I got something better, so I was just fine
So
with
no
it.
big deal. So one other exciting thing while you were quite young, do you know how incredible it is for a baby to get a TED Talk? Come
Oh
on.
yeah, let's talk about this. You did
Girl,
it. And now there's
TEDx,
TEDx
right?
and there's TED Talk.
She
You
did
did
a
a
TEDx.
TEDx.
But one of the
Yeah.
youngest, one of the youngest.
Ever.
Yeah, I gave that when I was 10, and I did that at Cal State Long Beach.
Wow.
And how did it all happen? How did you end up with a TEDx?
So they actually contacted me through Facebook, and then I ended up getting chosen just to give the TED Talk. And then I decided to do it on the destruction of animal agriculture has on the planet, because once I went vegan, I started doing more research about what veganism means and what it does for the planet, because I knew it was doing something good for the animals, but I wanted to know what other benefits that it had. So then I figured out how animal agriculture has such a big impact on the planet. So I thought, well, not a lot of people know about this, so I need to get this information out. So I ended up doing my TED Talk on that.
Good.
So
wow.
adorable. But wait a minute. You did a lot of research. You were 10.
Yeah.
She said, yeah, I sat down. So you actually put together most of your TED Talk yourself?
Yeah, so I had school style balancing it out at the same time, but I was still able to write it and just practice it, so it was fine.
Wow. Now, so your whole family's vegan now?
Yeah, my whole family is my brother, my sister, my other brother, my dad, and my mom, all of us.
Did any of them, especially your brothers are younger, correct?
Yeah, my brother Exodus, he's 6, and then my brother Anthony's 10. So my brother Exodus was actually vegan since birth.
Okay, so he knows
Great.
nothing different. But your other brother who was introduced,
Yeah.
did he go kicking and screaming like, well, that's what she wants to do. I want my burgers and French fries and all the things that are so delicious. Did he go kicking and screaming, or did he just go with you?
He was fine with it. I mean, my sister was a little bit easier to convince about it, because she looks up to me, so she would do whatever I thought was good. So she was fine with it. So she went vegan when I did. And then for my brother, he was a little bit difficult to convince, but the way that I actually got him to go vegan was, so my mom was there to my little sister, and he was drinking chocolate milk, and I was like, yeah, they take milk from their babies and they give it to you. And he was like, I don't want no one's milk. So then he went vegan after that.
That's a good way to kind of get people to go vegan. Like, wait a minute,
you know where that comes from?
You know where that comes from? Here, drink. It's kind of like saying, for lack of you're having breast milk at 12.
I know, huh?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like saying your mom's still feeding you breast milk, but she's putting chocolate in it. Most teenagers or 10 years old go, oh, that's disgusting.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, I want you to know we're so incredibly proud of you. And it's so nice that you have such an impact. And you impacted your family. That's tremendous, because there are a lot of grown-ups that can't get the whole family to change at all.
And it's so good that it went from you wanting it to the family, because a lot of times it's so hard for parents
to change
their
kids.
Exactly. Unless there's a health issue and a doctor or someone says that. So what do you have? What are you working on now, Genesis?
It's the whole planet now, right, Genesis?
What are you working on now? What
do
you quarantine? What have you been working on?
So mainly I've been working on Youth Climate Save, and that's a climate movement that focuses on animal agriculture and the destruction that it's doing to the planet, because there's a bunch of climate movements, but none of them focus just on animal agriculture. But we all want climate change to be reversed, but we're not going to be able to do this if we're not discussing animal agriculture. So it's really important to start talking about it. So right now we have 61 chapters, and we have them all over the place. We have them in Africa, India, Tanzania, the UK. So all over it, just kids that focus on animal agriculture.
Yeah. So are these kids, or is this you with adults, or is it other young people?
Yeah, so I'm just the main person that started it, but anyone can start chapters, and it's just a bunch of kids that have been starting chapters all over the world.
Wow, that's really cool.
So how so on a daily basis, a kid decides to get involved. What is it that they do? What is it you guys do?
So basically you start an Instagram account and wherever you're at, so like it will be like if you're in Africa, you've climbed, let's say Africa or whatever like city that you're in. So that's what you do. And then we have these Zoom meetings every week. We have them on Saturday and Sunday where we talk about actions that we can do. So yeah, I've been just hosting those and we just talk about actions to do that we can do online and what we can do after this quarantine's over in person.
Oh my God.
Wow.
This little girl.
So, you know, sometimes when you talk to young people, you really kind of get a sense that some of you have been here before and are very, very clear on your perspective and your reasons why you are here now.
Old spirit.
Old spirit, because you sound like some old lady that's running her business. You know, you sound like some 40-something years. So, you know, then I have this, and I'm running this, and I got chapters, and I started a chapter over in Afghanistan, and I got a chapter here, and all the people, and we're flying them all in because I'm hosting a meeting. That's kind of what you sound like all together at 13.
We love it.
That is amazing.
It is so beautiful.
Yes, someone says, Genesis, you're exactly right. Always wondered how great. I gotta get a bigger screen. This is not working. You
can't see.
Oh, you know what? We got this thing. I'm still learning how to work this thing, Genesis. So there we go. Look, Genesis, you're exactly right. Always wondered how great Thunberg and Leo DiCaprio got away with advocacy without highlighting animal agriculture. This is a voice for the voiceless.
That is beautiful. Yes. So you added a little something extra to the whole deal. And how was it meeting? Was it Thunberg? How do you pronounce
the Pope? Oh, you're not talking about the Pope.
No, I'm talking about
the other person.
How do you pronounce her name, Genesis?
Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg?
Yeah. You had an opportunity to meet her?
So I haven't met her yet. She actually follows me on Instagram though, but I haven't had the opportunity to meet her yet.
Haven't had an opportunity. You will.
Okay, so let's talk about meeting the Pope. Oh, how did all that happen? I know did you travel somewhere? I remember hearing a little story about.
Oh, she wanted the Pope to be off.
Right, but we want to tell. Right, go ahead, tell us. How did you meet the Pope?
So basically, what I did was we traveled with $1 Million Vegan, and at first we did this, and it was just gonna be just me giving the letter to the Pope, but we weren't gonna travel. And then after that, we thought, oh, well, we should make mini documentaries about this. So that's what we ended up doing. So we traveled all over the place. We went to New York, London, Rome. We went so many places, and it was so much fun. So we were able to travel all over the place.
Traveling? Was it your first time?
Yeah, it was my first time.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah. So then we went to Rome, and then when we were in Rome, we had the opportunity to go inside of the Vatican. And so I went to one of his public hearings where I could see him, and when he walked by, I was like, "Oh, hi, Pope Francis," and I was asking him if he could read the letter, and so he saw me, but they kind of pushed him over to the side. But it was so like. It was kind of like a movie because I was just like standing on like the row watching him walk by. And right before that, somebody came up to me and they were like, "Are you Genesis here for the Pope?" And he was like security for the Vatican. So I was like, ah. And then that's when like I was like, yeah, I am. And then that's when they saw me. They like pushed him over like the side because I think that they knew. Like, that little girl is about to put you on the spot, so you better keep on walking. So he did keep on walking. So then after that, we were called to come back, and then we met one of the main priests in there, and he's the high priest that's really close to the Pope. So we gave the letter to him. We talked to him about veganism, and we were able to film it, and then we gave him the letter, and then he gave the letter to the Pope. So I wasn't able to meet the Pope, but I was able to meet somebody close to the Pope, and he was able to send me back a letter. And he said that the activism that I'm doing, that he's really proud of me, but he kind of just said how he was proud of me, but he didn't really say if he was going to go vegan or not.
Yeah, but didn't he do something like where one day? I
thought it was a day.
Like it was a day.
Yeah.
But
I think.
What were you going to say, honey?
So he did go, I think he gave up meat for like a day. But for Lent, he ended up giving up gossip.
What say the last part?
So
he
gave up gossip for Lent.
Oh, gossiping? Gossip.
Yeah. So I don't know what they be saying in the Vatican, but they gave up gossip.
Aren't they supposed to not gossip?
Yeah.
about gossiping.
It's like, yeah, you the Pope. Are you supposed to be gossiping? Isn't that kind of like not a cool thing?
Cute.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But just the experience. You're such
Oh
an
my gosh.
influencer. You're changing so many lives. You're helping the planet. So many, like being a voice for the voiceless. People love you. We appreciate you so very much, sweetheart. We really do.
So what's coming up for you? We know you've been working on your, and this is a nonprofit, right? Where you have the other kids all over the world. This is a nonprofit? Yes?
So this is just something different. It's an organization.
Okay. So what's coming up for you? Do you speaking any? Well, nobody's speaking anywhere, but people are online speaking. What do you have coming up that people can look out for?
So recently, I mean, I had a whole bunch of speaking arrangements that I was supposed to be doing, but normally everything that I do is usually in person. So I think right now I'm just working on building up Youth Climate Safe, but I do have some projects that I'm working on in the future, but I signed an NDA, so I'm not supposed to say anything.
Don't talk about it. Okay, so we just want to touch on a little bit on what your take is, what's going on in our situation. You're an African American young lady. Do you have, do you have any words you'd like to say of encouragement or?
You're 13, right?
Right, 13. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. I can remember going through some of this back in the day when I was your age, a little older. So how are you feeling about it all?
So I think that it's like really sad everything that's been going on with how police just always see color and they don't see how the person is, and they always just feel threatened by people of color. So I think that that's horrible. Like I'm scared when like my dad goes outside because he's a person of color. He's African American, and I'm scared when my brother walks to the park and when my little sister goes places. So I mean, I think that that's really sad. But I see all these protests, so I think that that is kind of making a big difference, because I think now before police officers, it's only just one person, but now there's so many people. So I mean, the police can't just arrest all these people. Where are they going to put them? So I think this is making a huge difference, and it's all over the news. So.
Yeah, well, that's good. There's power in numbers.
Absolutely.
And that's why the work that you do is so important. Constantly speaking and constantly influencing.
And would you say that diets have a lot to do with mindset, do you think? As from a young person?
Yeah, I think that that it does, because I think when you're always consuming death and pain and suffering, you're going to feel the same thing, because I felt it. So like I would always feel sad, and it would just make me feel like you shouldn't eat and then after feel bloated. Like you should be able to eat and feel fine after. So I mean, that's kind of a sign that you're eating something wrong.
You're eating, then got to get Pepto-Bismol because it's affected your stomach, right?
You got to medicate.
Yeah, like you eat. Yeah, and then you just gotta like sit down. Like you should be able to get up, run a marathon, do whatever you want. I mean, after you just gotta like keep on sitting there. Like no.
Well, you know what they say. I don't know if any in your family, but without saying the word, we call it itis. Especially after Thanksgiving, you get the itis, where you've eaten so much, you've just consumed, and it's usually things that don't even go together, don't even mix together.
Terrible combinations.
Terrible combinations of food, and then when you're done, you really can't move.
Yeah,
you really have to wait till the next day. Then if you have leftovers, you do it all over again because they're so good. Wow. It's so good.
Yeah.
Well, but I have one quick question. Do you remember doing push-ups with me in the restaurant? Do you remember that? Let me tell y'all. Yeah. Okay, so Genesis wants to do push-ups with Chef. And so we start doing the push-ups. I'm thinking, well, she'll probably flake out at about 10 of them. Surely she's not going to go any further than 10. I'm trying to stop at 10. She's like, come on. And we did 20, didn't we? Uh-huh. You still doing push-ups? You still doing them?
Yeah.
Good girl.
Good
girl.
So where can people follow you? Where can people follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram. I have either my Genesis Butler _ account, and that's the main one that I use. But I also have my Youth Climate Save account. So if anyone on here wants to start a chapter, you just reach out to Youth Climate Save, and we'll get your chapter started.
Wow,
Just
you're
love
amazing. Thank you so much, Genesis.
Thank you.
We're going to have you back at some other point, but right now we just kind of wanted to introduce you. We're going to get a few other people on today, but thank you so much for taking time to hang with us. This has been marvelous, wonderful. You are brilliant. You obviously are an old soul.
Yes, you are.
Probably about 65 in your body, you know,
and the
your
mind. The planet and everybody is very, very blessed to have you, sweetheart. You know, Auntie love you.
Thank you.
And one last thing, do you give advice to parents who like want to help their kids kind of transition
or learn?
Or learn, yeah. So they can reach out to you if they have any questions or something like that. Okay.
Well, you can just reach out to me on my Instagram account.
Perfect.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Genesis.
You're welcome.
You're
welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, love her. Love her. Okay, I don't know how to get you out. You're going to have to get yourself out because I don't know. Oh, there we go. She's so smart.
I know. I love her. Oh, my gosh. Y'all. That's Genesis. She's helping to save the planet.
Yes, and she's a business. What we wanted to do today was bring some younger people on to talk about, you know, their
especially little entrepreneurs.
Yeah, entrepreneurs. And our next one, we happen to know, he's an influencer, but he's not. Well, I'll let you tell him what he eats because his diet is probably. He's like Babette. He makes a meal out of nuts.
Yeah.
So we're bringing on our little friend, Carrington Bennett. Hey, Carrington.
How's it going?
How are you?
I'm good.
Yes.
How are you guys?
We're good. Thank you for joining us today. Now, you basically grew up not eating meat, basically, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, literally. Yeah, honestly. And if I have to say, that was probably the best thing that my parents decided for me at a young age. Because, you know, as I got older, they said you can eat whatever you want. But that was so built. It was so engraved in me that I just decided that, no, this is the path. This is where I'm going with this.
So I want to talk to you more about the mindset of we're going to talk a little bit about your diet, but your discipline basically your discipline started probably about 18, 17, right? Your work discipline and how your work ethics goes along with your diet. Do you see a correlation between your mindset and what you put in your body?
Yeah, honestly, the mindset that it takes to eat a certain way is only difficult when it's not something that you want to do. For people who decide, yeah, I'm gonna start going on a diet or I'm gonna start doing this, that's when it becomes difficult. But it's not difficult for most people to say, yeah, you know, I'm gonna sit down on the couch and I'm gonna chill on the couch, right? That's not difficult because that's what you want to do. So when I decided that I wanted to start eating well, it made everything else easier for me because the things that would normally be a little bit harder because of my diet, because of the mindset I had when it came to something difficult like that, made everything else much easier for me.
Wow.
And so, yeah, and tell people what your schedule, like tell people what you do.
Okay, so I'm a YouTube gamer, and diet is really important with that because most of my day, or just about all of my day, is spent in front of a computer. I'm normally recording or editing a video, and because of that, I don't have much time to get any physical exercise. So when I started doing this, I saw a lot of other YouTubers who started to gain weight because they were sitting behind the camera so much. So I decided to, really break down how I eat, really start to be a little more specific in what I eat. And because of that, I didn't have to go outside to get as much exercise. And I haven't gained, probably gained about 5 pounds in the last like 3 years. Because honestly, obviously I gained weight as I got older, but I've been like 145 for like the last 2 years. And when I thought I was 150, it's because the scale, I didn't have it set to 0 when I was stepping on it. So, so yeah, that's but my diet and my work schedule are so important because if I were to start eating fast food or if I were to start to change up my diet a little bit, I would start to see a drastic change in my physical appearance and just how I feel waking up every morning.
And what about mentally? Like, I know basically your diet has been consistent. Now, over the years, like there were times when you would try pizza and things like that. But now you don't do any of that.
He's so funny.
No. I know. He's so fussy about his food. Like you'll eat nuts for days and said I had nuts.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah. When it comes to like, food like pizza and stuff like that, there are times, I guess I'm very picky with the ingredients. It's not necessarily the food itself. It's more of the ingredients. So if there's a vegan pizza, I'll eat a vegan pizza all day, every day. But if it's a normal pizza, the like Papa John's pizza or something like that, you won't really see me eating that, or you will never see me eating that, because I think about how the ingredients as individuals will affect me trying to wake up the next morning. How many bathroom breaks am I going to need to take after I eat it? Because I'm trying to maximize my day. I'm trying to find the most I can do within a certain day. So if I'm taking 4 bathroom breaks, 5 bathroom breaks while trying to edit something, that's going to change how quickly I can get that done. So
He is serious about his business. So I want to okay. So I just want to ask you now. I can remember when I transitioned and became vegan. Mm-hmm. It was primarily just, it was all about me. I wanted to get rid of certain things that were going on with me. I could care less about the planet, the animals, or anything. Mm-hmm. Since you eat the way that you do, your lifestyle is this way. And you don't even need glasses. But is there any other reason that you choose to live this lifestyle? Is there, has anything been added?
Well,
I do have another reason, but it sounds kind of ridiculous. I've always been in sports growing up, so it's always competing with people. And I try to find any little thing that I believe will take me over the top of someone else. And that, comes from the way I dress, to the way I speak, to the way I eat. So I believe that, and it's not that I think, if you're vegan, you're better than other people. It's just that I think if you're having a conversation with someone and you say, oh yeah, I'm vegan, the look on their face is always, it's always something that they go, oh, really? So I'm not saying that I would think that, but I'm saying that they will make an assumption on the type of person that I am, the type of discipline that I have. And from a competitive standpoint, that's just to me, another little level of why I decided to do this.
So what I also know about you is that you're one of those people, once you read or hear something is not good for you, you completely, immediately shut it out. When most people have to go through processes, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You immediately go, like when you heard about microwaves were no good. If you heard a ding, he said, are you microwaving my food? I'm not eating it. Don't put it in. So you're disciplined, but is that a discipline you think you've learned, or is that a discipline just who you are? I mean, because
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly, because for me, when it comes to food, it's kind of like you have food that tastes great and the food that tastes pretty good, right? So it's not a huge drop off, not a huge difference. But if the food that tastes pretty good is also good for you, and the food that tastes great has no nutritional value, then what's the point of eating the food that tastes great? It's only going to be a moment of satisfaction compared to another, area where it'd be a moment of satisfaction, but also I'll have, some nutritional value added to that too. So when I think about it like that, microwave versus oven, you know what I mean? I go like, okay, well, they both do the same thing. Why would I go ahead and put it in the microwave then if they do the same exact thing for me?
Mm-hmm. And so let's talk a little bit, because we're covering, a lot of what's going on today. What is your kind of take on, where you are emotionally as a youth, and what are you seeing? And, share a little bit of that.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not surprised with everything that's going on, because it's kind of like this. As an African-American male, this has always been the reality of the world for me, for my eyes, and for my family. So to see, it on a larger scale, documented everywhere, every time you open up your phone, it's kind of like, it's not a surprise, because that's where your imagination goes to when you get pulled over, when you see a police officer just outside. Yeah. But the difference is that people are now starting to take notice. People who aren't of my color or anything like that, they're starting to take notice too. So for them, it's like a reality shock. Like, this is how they treat people. This is how it is. For me, it's kind of like, you guys are a little late. This has been the thing. You watch any black movie, any movie with African-American males, females, whatever, that's a history piece. This is how it's always been. But when you watch it in theaters, you go, this is a movie. It's not real. But for people who are related to those people or people who are of that color, this is the reality. This is how it's always been. So it's great to see other people stepping up because, you know, history can only be changed when everybody tries to change it. But in all honesty, it's not like surprising to me.
Mm-hmm. So what do you want?
Have you ever had an issue with a police officer?
No. I've never had
Only, well, not but a security guard. The one story where you're coming out of the car bringing groceries.
Right.
In.
Well, I was with my dad and my brother, and we were actually right outside of where we live, and we were coming out of the car with, and this is when you know, okay, this was racial profiling, because my brother and I were about 15, right, and my dad was with us, and we're getting out of the car, and we had groceries in our hands, and we were parked right in front of the houses with groceries, and the security guard came up and he said, so, you know, what are you guys doing over here? Do you guys live in this area? My dad was like, do we live in this area? We are holding grocery bags from Ralph's. Are you not breaking down the situation? It's a grown man with 2 kids with grocery bags. I mean, how much clearer does this situation need to be?
Like,
right?
What are we have a picnic on the grass?
Right. Like, what else do we need to do to get this across?
So you could equate your consciousness, your diet with your consciousness, because you're very consciously aware. And why do you think that why do you think that is the case?
I think it has a lot to do with my upbringing. My parents, you have always told me how I see myself is how everyone else will see myself, and how and the importance of putting my best foot forward everywhere I go. So every time I leave out the house, I make sure I'm dressed a certain way. I make sure I speak a certain way. And it's not because it's out of character for me not to speak or do these things. It's because that is me. So when I speak to you, I'm going to speak to you in a way that demands respect from you when speaking back to me. And that's just because that's just who I am. So, and because of that, what I start to see online and stuff like that, I start to see other Black males doing the opposite of that, cursing and sagging pants and all that stuff. And it's not that that's the wrong way to go about anything, because that's your way to go about it. But I just know from experience that you get treated differently, as a Black male when you dress or speak a certain way. And I only want the most I can get out of any interaction, the most respect I can get from people. And because of that, that is why I decided to really focus on the type of person I am when speaking to people.
But to bring that back into your diet.
Of course, right. All in all, it's a overall thing, just the way I speak goes into the way I eat. So the way I eat, what I try to do is I try to eat the way I want to be seen. You know how they say you are what you eat, right? So I want to eat organic foods. I want to eat foods that aren't processed a lot. I want to eat I want to drink drinks that don't have like high sugar in it, because the way I eat is the way I feel, and the way I feel is the way I speak. So I want you to see inside of me when I speak to you, if that makes sense to you.
So the mind, body, and spirit kind of
beautiful.
A
yes,
right.
I love it.
Yeah. And did you ever get a lot of resistance from people when you go to parties and things? So when you're 21 now, when you would go to parties, and when you show up, because I know you had a similar situation where vegan hot dogs would be brought to the party. So
right.
Yeah. So, but outside of that, did you have any instances where people would say, "What are you eating?"
When I was younger, I did, but as I got older and I got more comfortable with myself, it almost became a thing where the people around me started to feel how comfortable I was with myself, and what I decided was "quote unquote" cool or normal or whatever became the room's consensus. It became what was cool or what was normal. So I could be out with people who do drugs and stuff like that, and there was a time where they're sharing the stories like, "Oh, when I did this drug, this happened to me," or "When I did this happened to me." And when it got to me, before I could even say anything, someone else spoke up and said, "Oh no, he doesn't do any of that. He doesn't do that." And the moment they said that, the whole table got quiet. And then someone said, "Yeah, I need to stop. I need to stop." And the whole table just went, "Yeah, I need to stop doing drugs. I need to stop." Right? And I didn't have to say anything. Now, when it happened, I kind of kept a cool, calm face. But when I walked away, I was kind of smiling, because I was like, did that just happen? I didn't even have to do anything. But what I did was the cool thing,
So you
I
were
love
never really,
it.
you never bought into the peer pressure.
Never. No.
Well,
That's rare,
it is
especially for young, because
for
peer pressure is not for adults.
yes,
Dude, are you kidding me? Peer pressure. But do you think that's, I mean, I know that eating a certain way helps to keep your mind clear too. Like
Yes.
Genesis was, you know, it does. You don't have your mind cluttered with a whole bunch of heavy stuff that wears you down, sends you to the bathroom 25 times a day.
and nutrients. It's just very important to eat so that you get something, like you say, you get something out of it. Why would you want to just eat death? You know,
Right?
So-
Exactly.
And when we don't get the nutrition that we need to have as humans, we malfunction.
So give us an idea of your go-to meal. Like what would be your
my go-to meal is a bag of trail mix. You basically just mix nuts and a kombucha. And if my mom or my brother is willing, I'd have a little smoothie with that too, like to start the morning. But that's normally my go-to meal. So I'll eat that for the entire day and then not eat anything else. And I know it doesn't sound balanced. It doesn't really sound balanced, but I try to find, some fruits and vegetables to fit in there, throughout the day too.
You know what? I know you, and I watch you. Y'all, he ain't lying. No, this is him. This is exactly.
Him. But what's so funny, because he is my child. So if you haven't put those two together, and trust me, I try to get him to eat. I said, just have a salad. Will you eat something? Let me make you a meal.
I'm over here every weekend, and I swear to God, all I hear him say, I'm just gonna have some nuts.
You're gonna drink that kombucha? You're gonna drink that?
Don't have a extra kombucha in the refrigerator.
It's gone. It's done. And he's actually content with it. He's actually very content with it.
But you're one of the sharpest young men I've ever met. I'm so impressed with yourself and your brother. You guys are amazing people. I appreciate you so much, really, for being young Black men and handling it the way that you guys do. It's just such a pleasure knowing you.
Yeah, and so your gaming name is what? In case any of you have children, he's a gamer. And with that, it's very family friendly, right?
Yeah.
Your gaming channel.
Yes.
Your young kids could be on it because he doesn't. Why don't you tell them a little more about your philosophy before we say goodbye? And then you give the gaming channel.
So I wanted to make a gaming channel that was welcoming to everyone. So it's a type of channel that your friends and family, your kids can all sit down and watch together. It's a NBA 2K, so basketball sports gaming channel. And on the channel, I do ridiculous stuff. So I'll have the Avengers play against DC characters. I'll have just anything you could think of, I've probably already done. I've recreated Space Jam. And the name of my gaming channel is called Dominus, just Dominus, flat out, and without nothing else. Yeah, just Dominus.
How do you spell it?
Oh, DOMINUS.
Okay. So yeah, check him out, Dominus, on where? YouTube.
On YouTube.
And you're part of the NBA company, the NBA 2K company.
Yeah, I'm partnered with NBA 2K with 2K Sports.
Yeah. So. Well, thank you. Go have some nuts. Do you have nuts tonight, or you off of nuts for the night?
I just ran out, so I have to get some more.
Well, I'm trying to in my room, so don't go look.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so
much.
Problem. Have a good one.
There was a question of what I eat is one of the causes of how I feel, think, and express, carry myself. That's what Joe Bernard said, and it's very true. What you eat will matter. So everybody.
Somebody said you're doing a great job, Carrington.
Yes, it's great job, mother and son. I was trying to pretend it wasn't my son. Oh, what do you like in your smoothies? Do you like green drink?
I like anything that has healthy ingredients. It could be green, it could be purple, it could be red. As long as I know that within it has some type of nutritional value. I would have to say some type of strawberry smoothie and then green drink after that. Anything green after that is my go-to.
All righty. Well, thank you. Love you.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Got myself out.
Bye-bye. Peace out. Okay, so that was fun.
Hey, your baby is so wonderful.
I know, and Genesis, we got to talk to the young people.
Right.
My gosh. So we're bringing back our very first guest. He's going to come once a month at the beginning of every month. Marlon. Hey, Marlon.
Oh, Marlon.
Yeah, with the muscles. And he's going to just share tidbits, like some tips that'll carry you for this month.
Where is he? Where is he?
He is coming up.
What's happening? What up? What up? What up?
It's G in the house.
How are you ladies doing?
Look, right quick. Those mushrooms, them chicken mushrooms.
Yeah.
Got everybody hooked. Everybody at the restaurant. They make me cook them for them. Ron brought me 2 big giant mushrooms. Yes, everybody loves them.
I can't wait to get back to Cali and have you whip them things up for me.
Yeah, we're gonna have you whip them up for us. Because when you come back,
when you come back, you know what? We're gonna pick a couple of people from here, and then we're going to we're gonna find a spot, and you're gonna cook for all of us.
There you go.
You're gonna cook some stuff from your recipe. We're gonna sit around and laugh, have some vegan wine. Hey, Erica Dodd.
Is that Erica?
Erica's coming on.
Hi, how are you?
Erica said, whoop, 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 whoop.
What's happening?
Yeah, so what you got some tips for this coming month?
Well, first off, let me back up for a second, and I have to give a shout out to the 2 young people we just had on. I was watching both Genesis and Carrington, and if you don't get energized watching young people spit that game like that, I mean, you got something wrong with you. I was loving, picking up on so many things from both of them, and I got to definitely give Genesis's parents kudos, but definitely you and Carrington's father for that gentleman too. I mean, you can tell that the young man is on point with it. So I definitely wanted to give you your kudos for that, Miss Terrah.
Thank you, darling. But it takes, well, I don't want to say it starts at the home, and then you surround them with good energy people to continue carrying on with the there's no village until you start at the home. So, and it's, like you, it's important for me what I put in my body, because as I get older, I want to feel good. I don't want to be on a walker. I really don't. I still have the same crazy energy, the same exact energy that I had when I was little. It is so freaky to me because I stopped eating meat in '79.
Yes,
and wrong with her. I have the same kind of. My aunt used to, because after my mother passed, we grew up with my aunt, and I would get up at 1 o'clock in the morning in New York and just go take a walk. Yeah, so I gotta get out.
Still do that.
Still the same
still
way.
Do that.
It freaks me out sometimes. It's like, will I ever slow down?
She don't sleep.
I sleep. I get good sleep. I get my 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours a day.
No, what you do?
What I do?
She'll have a what's that thing that click at the remote?
Yeah.
She'll change the channel. She'll take a second. She'll doze off. And finish changing it.
Sleep. I put on my headphones, my big headphones. I have my meditation music on. I turn off the TV and I'm out.
She out for 15 minutes.
No, I'm not. I'm out for
4 minutes, and then she wake up again, and then she go to her computer. Some more work she got to do.
No,
yes.
I've heard those stories. Yeah, Babette shared those stories with me before, Terrah. Unfortunately, I know some truth to it.
It's true. World is true.
Well, when you don't have a lot of stuff weighing down your body, you don't have to sleep 52,000 hours.
Well,
but anyway, so what you got to share with us?
Couple of things. One thing that I've been asked a lot is, I've got a few people who have talked to me about transitioning over to a vegan lifestyle, but what they want to do is try to stay away from a lot of the processed and a lot of the vegan substitutes that have been coming out. So, I wanted to mention to people that you've got a ton of different options outside of what you typically see in the grocery store. It's just a matter of changing your mindset. And so a few of them I wanted to mention. One is specifically mushrooms. You can do a ton of things with mushrooms, whether it's going to be portobello mushrooms and you want to do some type of steak substitute. You can get just your typical regular white mushrooms and actually chop those up, and you can use those in spaghetti. You can use those for tacos. It's more about how you season it. We've got a ton of options that we can use that are actually going to be the healthiest options for what we can use for meat substitute. Something else that I use that I'd probably say is my favorite right now is going to be the banana blossom. I've used banana blossom for fried chicken. I've used banana blossom for
banana blossoms are what?
Yo, when I tell you banana blossom, it'll knock you out. When I tell you, you get some fried banana blossom, you season that thing the same way you would fried fish or some type of Creole type of item. It hands down is one of the best things you ever had. In fact, that's what I'll have to make whenever I make my way back out to Cali.
Is that in your book?
No. That's actually not in my book, but I'm actually going to work on something new here pretty soon. But banana blossom is definitely going to be one of them. But I tell anyone, especially for those people who are concerned that they're going to be missing out on fried fish, fried chicken, banana blossom is an incredible option. It is an incredible option. So you've got a ton of options out there as far as vegetable replacements go, and using those in some of your favorite items. So don't get discouraged whenever you start to think about, possibly transitioning, but you want to stay away from the processed foods. You've got a ton of options as far as things that you can do with the vegetables. So that's one thing I want to make sure I mention to people.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
Absolutely. You can do it. And like I had mentioned, whenever we had first spoke, it's more about how you season the things. It's more about how you season them. If you get that in your head, if I can season things correctly, most times you'll be able to get exactly what you're looking for. So if you think about it from that aspect, you'll be just fine. So we've got a ton of things that we can do. And one thing, while I'm thinking about it as far as a replacement goes, first time I ate at Stuff I Eat, I remember we had this avocado parfait that was insane that Babette made. I mean, I was like, avocados? I mean, but that was one thing that taught me you've got a ton of options you can use and still have the most incredible tasting foods out there. So wanted to make sure that I mentioned that to people. And then secondly, and maybe just as important, is stay active as far as your body goes. I know I've talked to both of you all in terms of, things we could do during quarantine times. If there's people who, aren't making their way back to the gym, and for whatever reason, maybe you're feeling under the weather, still what you want to make sure you do is stay active. And so one thing I mentioned to both Terrah and Babette was what I would do, and this is what I've always done, is have a set number that I'm going to do daily of some exercise or a mix of exercises. So for instance, right now what I'm doing is at a minimum, I'm doing 200 of something every day. And that's in addition to whatever workout I would typically do. So I may do an additional 200 push-ups. I may do an additional 200, body weight squats. But what I'm trying to do is keep my body as active as possible, and then keeping it in as much motion as possible too. So even if it's something as small as doing, 50 reps of something on a daily basis, what you want to make sure you do is keep your body in action, keep your body in motion. So, the meat substitutes is important. And then also, like I mentioned, make sure you keep your body active, and then you'll be in a good place.
That's good advice.
So it doesn't matter. Is there like an overall exercise that you could say that somebody could do? Because
what I would suggest, and just to keep it from being too complicated, is each day you work on a different body part. So for instance, what you may do, and let's say if we're looking at Monday through Friday, what you may do on Monday is do squats. That way you're working on your legs. On Tuesday, you may do 50 sit-ups. That way you're doing something with your core and with your abs. On Wednesday, you may do 50 push-ups, and that's going to help out as far as your arms and everything else goes. So what I would suggest is mixing it up like that to where you do a different body part during the day. And then if you ever have any questions, you can check me out on Instagram. My Instagram is @plantbasedg.life. You can fire me off a question. I'm more than happy to help out. But working outside is something else that you can do as far as staying active. But definitely make sure you get outside. Make sure you do something on a daily basis. Your body, your mind, body, and spirit will appreciate it.
Yeah, somebody wanted to know where the blossoms.
Oh yeah, where do you source? Do you know where you get the banana blossoms?
Yeah, the banana blossom, you can find them in most grocery stores. If not, you can definitely order them online. You'll get them in the can too. And typically what you'll do is you'll end up setting them out. And there are a lot of different recipes that you can find on how to actually prepare them. I've used a couple of different ones and kind of mixed in my own, trying to figure out my own formula for them. But banana blossom is typically easy to find, especially at more of your organic type of grocery stores like your Whole Foods, Natural Grocers, etc. Yeah, absolutely. But I'd say,
I honestly am new to banana blossoms today.
Yeah. Okay.
So what exactly do you? I don't even know what they look like, but I'll find it.
Yeah. Whenever you get them out the can, they actually come prepared straight out the can. The only thing that you're going to do is you're going to drain them, and then you're going to actually set them out because they'll be extremely moist. So what you'll do is you'll drain them, you'll sit them out on a towel for a period of time. And then after that, depending on what you want from them, as far as, like, for instance, some people like for their chicken to be a little bit juicier than others. Some people like for it to be a little bit of a drier texture. So depending on what you're looking for, that'll determine the amount of time that you actually set it out on a piece of paper towel or on a towel. But as I mentioned, there are a number of recipes that you can find online too. The key is, once you get them, set them out, that'll give them time to actually dry up. And then you'll actually go through the same seasoning process you would with fish or chicken. So you actually create your wet batter, your dry batter, and then drop them off in the grease, and you've got a party.
Yeah, because someone had inboxed me and said, what do I do, when I miss fish? I said, one of the things is that you're really not missing, at least for me, you're not as much missing the fish. You're missing all the textures. You're missing.
Absolutely.
So when you realize, especially if you love fried fish, which I do,
right.
When I batter up some mushrooms, I'm good. It's like all I want is that sensation. All you want is to chew whatever that, or to remember that thing. And once you get that, you're good.
Right.
And see, the thing about banana blossom too is, they taste so good. You can eat so many, but again, and I think it was Genesis who was talking about this earlier, as far as how you're supposed to feel after a meal. You still feel good. You know what I mean? But you still were able to itch, scratch that itch that you had as far as that fried substitute.
Exactly. I got my Jones. I got my Jones.
Taking care of a little something.
So well, we're going to see you again next month. And
absolutely.
Always check in and make sure people follow you. Where can they follow you, Marlon?
Yeah, you can check me out at plantbased.life on Instagram. Then I also got a cookbook that I put out probably about a month and a half or so ago. But you can check that out in the link on my Instagram account. The name of the cookbook is Quarantine 15.
Okay.
Do you fry in grapeseed oil? I actually use avocado oil. Avocado oil is my preferred choice, as far as I've also been turned on to walnut oil here too. So I'll use walnut oil on occasion.
Wow.
You're just so cute.
We love you,
Thank you. I love both of you.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you when you get here. So come out, because I'm hungry.
I'm going to be out there soon.
You are?
I miss my people. Absolutely. I promise you, I miss my people.
Yeah, thanks for showing up all the time,
Thank you,
Marlon. Absolutely. All right. I love y'all. All right. I'll love. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
And bye-bye, darling. So as we wind up, let's sit a little bit closer here. So we want to thank you all. We tried something different this show, where we shared, our youth, and Marlon, like we said, will come back every month, which would be great to share some information. What are you falling apart?
I'm falling apart.
She's falling apart.
Anyway.
Well,
so what y'all think about the show? If you have any suggestions for us, we'll take any suggestions, because
we're working out the kinks and trying to get a feel, whether we want one guest, no guest, all guests.
Right.
But we're trying some different things. So next week, we have girl, she was just on, Erica.
Oh, Erica. Oh, yes.
Erica's a vegan. She's also, we're going to have a recipe of hers, probably something she likes to make. She also has a hairline for wigs and beautiful.
You'll learn all about it next week.
But she's phenomenal. Then after her, we have, oh my gosh, I gotta look.
When is Badass Vegan?
I didn't hear back from him, but after her, we're having Pashan. Pashan has the vegan ice cream and cake. Oh my God. Oh my God. And they sell it at the Four Seasons. So let me tell you something. I had some of her ice cream one time, and I gave some to my brother who eats every kind of meat. He doesn't care. But I gave him, I said, I want you to try a little bit of this with some little bit of her pound cake. And so I called him later. I said, how'd you like it? He says, well, the only problem was I needed some more.
Needed more.
I was like, yeah.
I love it.
So she's going to be on. We're going to enjoy some of her ice cream and cake. And then we have Sylvia, who's a producer, director, actress. She's vegan. She's going to come on and share a dish with us. So, and then next month, we're going abroad. we're traveling the world. We have vegans from Italy, from London,
Jamaica,
from Belize, from Jamaica.
Yeah.
So we have a few different vegans, and we're going to talk about what it's like to have food there and some of the different things that they do. And then the next month we're on with doctors. So different doctors, so you can hear some different tips and things on how to get yourself.
We've got a doctor. Is it Golden? What's
don't ask me.
Anyway, let me just tell you.
No name.
Let me just tell you. For any of our folks that are suffering with lupus, Goldner, this chick cured herself of lupus, and she's doing that for people every single day. We're going to have her on as well.
Dr. Montgomery, who's a heart cardiologist,
one of the top cardiologists.
But he heals people through vegan and through diet.
I mean, this brother has a raw food restaurant right there at his practice. That's how serious he is, and he is awesome. So just keep tuning in. But like I said, if you guys have any suggestions, send them to us. We want to. This show has to work. It has to work because we're giving so much. So
we thank you.
That story. Can't hear the story.
No, can't wait to hear her story.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So there's a lot of different people, and people are signing on. The textures. She said, "I would." Jamila Joseph said, "I would agree. I miss the textures of meat. I want a change, though, and overall. And once you find a couple of things that will help you with that, Jamila, you won't miss it so much.
No, you won't.
You think it's the texture. It's just really the chewing sensation. It's the chewing. And, like me, I used to love sushi.
Yeah.
And I took away, I stopped. I don't have the sushi with the salmon. I just have the sushi with avocado.
Right.
And I was like, you don't even miss it. It's just a combination of the seaweed, the this, the that, and putting it in your mouth and plopping it and going, that's it. It was done. I'm good.
And for me, I just had to really, really just start paying attention to what I was consuming. What are you really eating when you eat that? And that has always helped me stay on point. It really has.
I'm just answering tofurkey oven roast with favorite barbecue sauce down until it caramelizes the texture and flavor and protein.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you can come here. Like people post some really wonderful things that they do. TD Walker is Tina Turner a vegan? I don't know. I know she's a Buddhist. I'm not sure what that has to do with being a vegan, but I'm not sure. Yeah, but the idea is, you don't want to wait till somebody tells you that you got to change.
Right.
Because, it's kind of like drinking alcohol. You stop drinking because now you become an alcoholic and you can't even enjoy the alcohol at all. So the idea is that you don't want to wait till your body breaks down and now try to fix it.
And that's what happens.
That's what happens.
That's what happens too much. We wind up with the diabetes, and we wind up with clogged arteries and all that kind of stuff. And then we try to run back and fix it when we can really, really, really start right now. And just, because there are certain things that you eat that just agree with the human species, period. You can pick it right off of a tree. You don't salivate for anything running around that has movement and hearts and lungs and gives birth. And no, you're not salivating for that. But on a hot day, a big old juicy watermelon. How about a peach? Ooh. How about a mango?
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess that's enough.
Yeah, somebody said you reminds them of Whitney Houston. Rest in peace. So.
Oh, some people say that sometimes.
Yeah, you got those kind of eyes. Well, no.
Oh, that didn't do it, did it?
Whitney's like, oh, what was that? Whitney's like, oh my God, I was resting in peace.
You ought to stop.
She do that. Whitney's like, I was resting in peace. Anyway,
that was ignorant. Okay, y'all. We love y'all.
Thank you all for joining.
Thank you for tuning in.
Hopefully you learned something.
Share.
And follow me. I'm trying to build my numbers, y'all. Well, but follow Babette if you don't. Follow me as Terrah, Terrah Bennett Smith on Instagram. I'm really trying very hard to build my numbers. I finally got over 1,000, so I'm very happy.
She got her numbers.
It took me like 60,000 years to get there.
And y'all look, with Chef, y'all got to do is ask 20 of your cousins and friends and uncle. No, I'm eating more than that, huh?
What? For what? No, because she's trying to get over. She's trying to get to the 100,000. Share stuff. Come on, people.
Come on, just share. So are Are we ending this?
We're off.
All right, so
6:59.
it's 6:50.
Oh, wait. What days to tune in? Who said that? Every Sunday,
every
at
y'all,
6
6 p.m. PST.
California, whatever
Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah. We're here and we always
Chrissy.
You know Chrissy?
No.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi, Chrissy. I know her
act
now.
like we know you.
Anyway.
We know everybody. We love you. Thank you, Tina. Bye. Love you. Bye,
Love y'all.
everybody.
Bye. You're so silly.